10 reasons why you should move out of New York City. New York is, without a doubt, one of the greatest cities in the world, with all its amenities such as museums, parks, playgrounds, restaurants, nightclubs, and the list goes on. While it's clear why New Yorkers love their city so much, the recent pandemic outbreak made lots of people question their lifestyle. With most of the New York City amenities closed due to the COVID-19 pandemic, being in small apartments for months made some people realize that moving out of New York City may be the best decision. The recent increase in New Yorkers looking to move elsewhere shows that people are looking outside the city for their next rental. And in this video, we'll go through a few reasons for that. While lots of folks are ready to kiss the Big Apple goodbye, that doesn't mean there won't be a new generation moving in. The city will definitely keep its vibrance. But if you're thinking of finding a better place to live, I've listed the top 10 reasons why you should move out of New York City. Number 1 is the weather. While you'll be able to enjoy different seasons in New York, there's also a huge downside to it. Not everyone digs the cold weather, and if you're among this group, you won't enjoy brutal winters. New York is ranked 7th in the most snowfall in the entire country, and winters are usually pretty harsh and difficult to deal with. Number 2. New York City is difficult for raising a family. While it's not impossible to raise a family here, it is more difficult compared to other more family-friendly cities. New York City can make it difficult to get your kids to school and pick them up using the subway, and it's safe to assume that your kid won't have a swing set in the backyard if you're living in the Big Apple. Plus, crime rates are another thing to consider when you're planning a family, and New York is not among the safest cities in the country. Of course, the best way to pack your belongings and move them safely is not to pack them at all, but to hire professional packers instead. They'll bring their own supplies and they'll pack your entire shipment so you don't have to worry about a thing. In case you decide to go for a moving service, we'll be happy to help, and we'll leave our details in the description box below so you can reach out to us anytime. Number 3. Unaffordable housing. According to PropertyShark.com, the median home price in New York City in 2021 is $710K, with a median price per square foot of $786. But this doesn't apply to popular neighborhoods. For instance, the median home price in Manhattan is $1 million. Number 4. The cost of living. Well, we all knew this was coming at some point in the video, as everyone knows that living in New York is expensive. But the info hits different when you understand exactly how pricey it is to live in the Big Apple. For most people, it's just too expensive and not worth it. To give you a better idea, let's look at the info from bestplaces.com. The average cost of living in the United States is $100, while it's $187.2 in New York City. Number 5 is taxes. New Yorkers will have a lot to say about it, and they probably won't be able to skip a few profanities when asked about taxes. A common reason why people are leaving New York City is that income taxes are incredibly high. The obnoxiously high tax rate is the 7th highest in the United States. Moving on to number 6 on the list of reasons why you should move out of New York City. It's the crowds. Considering the size of a city and number of residents, plus so many tourists, you'll be hard-pressed to find a space to be alone. If you're the type of person who hates crowds, you're probably already thinking of leaving New York City for good. I won't even get started about tourist places like Times Square because this video would just be too long. The 7th reason why you should leave New York City has a lot to do with the coronavirus, and it's the remote work. Many people had to turn to remote work because of the pandemic, and as the lockdowns and quarantines continue, companies are embracing work-from-home approaches, some indefinitely. That makes it difficult for most people to organize their working space in already tight New York apartments, making it more convenient to move elsewhere. After all, why would you spend loads of money on renting a tiny place when you can pay the same for great space and work comfortability? The reason number 8 for leaving New York City is dealing with the subway. Most people don't own a car and rely on public transportation, which can be quite difficult if you live in one borough and have to get to another borough for work or other reasons. Number 9 on my list of why you should leave New York City is job opportunities. Before you start typing the comment, it's not about the number of jobs available. New York definitely has many jobs to offer. What I'm talking about is actually the ability to find a well-paid job. If you're looking for a job that pays well or you want to start a business, you'll need so much patience, an incredible CV, and strong connections. The last reason for leaving New York City is a slower pace of life and more comfort. When the pressure is on and stakes are high, you're not likely to stop and smell the flowers between chasing your dreams or figuring out the way to pay crazy expensive rent. If you're dreaming about having a garden, spending time in your backyard, wearing flat shoes, and having a slower pace overall, then it is time to move out of New York. On my channel, I'll be posting videos about moving from one place to another, moving costs, cities or states that will pay you to move there, pros and cons about moving to each state in the US, and some helpful moving tips. If there's a place or topic you'd like me to talk about, please feel free to leave a comment below and I'll do my best to do a video on it. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel.